When the outgoing administration came into power, it promised improved security, economic growth, and stronger anti-corruption measures. The reality, however, is that the level of progress made does not correspond with the expectations of Nigerians. And one of the sectors where this gap is so glaring is in the area of administration of justice. Uppermost on the minds of most Nigerians is a judiciary that can truly live up to its mantra of the last hope of the common man. Can the Bola Tinubu administration push for a restructured judiciary at both the federal and state levels? Our correspondent Babajide Lee tells us more in this report.
There's no doubt that the justice sector is the pillar on which a democracy rests, and it is clear that the goals of good governance and economic growth cannot be achieved without an effective and efficient justice system. Since the inception of the Fourth Republic in 1999, critics have consistently drawn the attention of successive governments to the urgent need to focus on reforms of the sector. The argument is that the system inherited from years of military rule cannot, by any stretch of imagination, be fit for the purpose of a democracy.
You find out that in our courts today, judges still write in longhand, a lot of our judges. Some have decided to be technologically oriented themselves. They will get tape recorders and record their proceedings. So they'll just listen to you. As you're talking, your voice is being recorded. They listen back and they come up with their ruling. I would like to see more of that. I've been to Ghana a few times and I've seen the way they work, their judiciary work. You are in court in Ghana. Your case, there's a screen, a big screen in the middle of the court. Your case is called, the case comes up on the screen, everybody in the court sees the case. What is coming up for is stated, a hearing, mention, argument, all of those, clearly stated on the screen.
You find that we have even tribunals in the country that has become judicial in nature, and yet they are creatures of the executive. They are creatures of the executive. So there is need for all those to be reviewed.
With this in mind, legal analysts are demanding an urgent restructuring of the country's judiciary to make it more competitive. They advocate a total reorganization and, at the best, an efficient decentralization of the Supreme Court in tandem with the principles of true federalism. This, they say, will help to achieve a more effective administration of justice and the adjudication of cases.
For instance, it is not a crime in Yoruba land all these religious, there's no Sharia law, for instance, in Yoruba land. Now you bring an Igbo Yoruba man, he becomes a chief judge or a Supreme Court judge, and he's looking at a religious issue. He'll be influenced by the fact that this is not an issue in Yoruba land. Do you understand? Even though there will be a law that he can apply. But if you are looking at the centralized Supreme Court, you are looking at what locality is it coming from. If it is coming from Zamfara, is there a law that prohibits it in Zamfara? Of course. There's no way you will be looking right or left to say, it is applicable. It cannot be so in Lagos. Because in Lagos, Muslims marry Christians, Christians marry Muslims. You can't say that in the north. So issues like that is bound to affect the thinking of those justices. That's why my position will always be that a centralized Supreme Court is better. What you can, however, do, expand the court, make more judges available to do the work, and I'm sure we'll make progress.
The administration of Bola Tinubu must quickly come to terms with the urgency for a holistic reform. Another critical task before government will be to separate the office of the Attorney General of the Federation from that of the Minister of Justice.
We are in a society where you have not done well in all sectors, particularly. But I know that the executive, they are looking after themselves. The National Assembly, they are looking after themselves. The judiciary is the whipping boy, so to speak, in the whole system. Usually shortchanged, because you find that their budget appears to be determined elsewhere, completely without regard to the needs, actual need they have. I mean, it's usually arbitrary.
If a man is not properly taken care of, he is likely to be swayed by anything. And that's what the government of the day or this new government should be looking at. Let us look at the judiciary. Let's address the issue of their appointment, the issue of their retirement, what they get, how independent. If a senator, House of Rep members can hand what they are earning, judges must be doing better than that. And they must have an independent community, an independent agency dealing with their affairs, not the executive.
Government must selflessly move the administration of justice to a different direction. For instance, can a decentralized Supreme Court better serve the purpose of a restructured federalism, and which courts will attend to disputes between the federal government and its federating units? The questions are many, but government must take steps to address them. Babajide Lee, Silverbird News 24, Lagos.